Hi, in this lab, we're going to talk about how to install the Linux virtual machine lab environment. This is part of the Cisco DEVASC course. Uh, this is actually lab 112, but you'll see it says Rick's lab, Rick's version. That's because I took out a couple of things and added a couple of things, but you'll have access to this document. And basically what we're going to be doing here is you're going to download and install VirtualBox via Manager. Then we're going to import this DEVASC VM OVA file, and there's 3 ways that you'll be able to do that. And I'll show you all those 3 in a moment. And then we are going to import the appliance into VirtualBox, the DEVASC VM OVA file, and then we'll take a brief look at the Linux VM. So let's do the first thing here. We're going to download VirtualBox. So let me move this out of the way. So here we are. We're at virtualbox.org, and as you can see, it comes up and with the latest version for your operating system to download. So if you don't have VirtualBox already, go ahead and download that and install it onto your system. All right, so as you can see here, I have VirtualBox already installed. The next thing that we need to do is we need to install the VM itself. Okay, so there's 3 ways we can get it. One, you can just click on this link here, this first one here, static courses, blah, 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 and download it. But I also give you 2 other ways to download it. One is from my Google Drive, and the other one is from the actual Netacad DevNet site. So let me show you both of those. Move that out of the way. All right, so here is my Google Drive, and you have access to that. Okay, and you can just download that from here if you wish. That's one way of doing it, just download. Okay, and another way of doing this is to go to the Cisco DevNet Associate site on Netacad. You'll see the DevNet Associate VM. Here's the DEVASC VM OVA file. Don't worry about the CSR 1000V. We'll be downloading that later in another video and another lab. Okay, so once you've downloaded the DEVASC VM OVA file, okay, you should have saved that somewhere to a folder. Here you can see I have it saved in a folder called VirtualBox VMs, DEVASC VMs, and there's my DEVASC VM OVA file that I've downloaded. Next, we're going to just import the appliance. So fairly straightforward. I'm just going to go here to VirtualBox, File, Import Appliance. Okay, so let me do that. Then I'm going to go here to this little folder icon. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to find my VirtualBox VMs, DEVASC VM, and here we go, right there. There's my DEVASC VM OVA. Click on that, open. Okay, so it has all the settings here. Okay, leave everything as is. Next, we'll just do an import. Okay, as you can see, this will take just a couple of minutes, so I'm going to pause the video here. Okay, so we can see that that has completed, and now I have my DEVASC Lab VM, and it is powered off. So we're going to start that. And by the way, the one little kind of tricky thing, I want to show you that there are instructions, so follow this very carefully, is the DEVASC VM contains a special version of Packet Tracer. and you must accept this EULA agreement. So all the instructions are right here, but it's kind of just, you got to hit the keys right, or you might have to start this, reinstall the VM again. So let's see if I can do this. So I'm going to just, you see I have the DEVASC Lab VM highlighted. I'm just going to click on Start. And it's coming up here in actually another window. There we go. Okay, so here's the tricky part here. So it's, you can see it says, you know, please read the Cisco Packet Tracer Lab VM. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is when I see the screen come up, I'm going to hit the right arrow key. There we go. And it highlights the OK. Okay, now don't hit enter. Don't hit enter. I know that's kind of what we want to do. I'm going to hit the space bar. Okay, then this comes up, and what I want to do is hit the left arrow key. All right, now I can hit the enter key. All right, I know that's kind of strange there. And here comes our lab VM. Very cool. All right, so we'll be taking a closer look at this in later videos, but let me kind of open this up here so you can see it. All right, this comes with a lot of cool stuff. All right, so first of all, let me just kind of go to the terminal window here. And here's our terminal window. All right, so we'll take a look at everything that's in here a little later. So there's some different folders, some files and that, but we'll use some of these. This is all part of the DEVASC course. If you're not super familiar with Linux or comfortable, don't worry, we're just going to be doing basically some basic file commands and moving around with change directory, and I'll be showing you all of that. But some other things, here's the packet tracer that I was talking about. We'll talk about that a little later. Comes with Visual Studio Code. Okay. So this is a nice tool. You can download this for your own system as well. It's very nice for working with Python or any programming language, and also some of the different data formatting stuff that we'll be doing, like with YAML and XML and JSON. I talked about the terminal. Postman is here, Postman. So we'll talk about that with APIs. It also has a browser, Chromium web browser. Okay, let me click on this. We'll take a look at this when we get into the APIs, but it takes you to the school library. This is something that was developed by, well, I want to say by the Cisco team, actually, I'll give them credit here. Joseph, janitor, did a lot of this work. So really cool. But this is actually, it's a nice, we'll be looking at this when we do APIs. It's kind of to show you what it looks like if you went to a developer site for APIs that provide some pretty cool stuff, being able to access the APIs. Like we'll be going over here, we'll do this a little later, but just to show you, so we can do kind of the get books, post books, do things like that. Okay. So we'll work, there's a couple of labs on that are part of the course. And so I'll give you access and we'll look at some of that as well. But it's also, if I open up a new tab here, look at this. Let's see if I type in something like, I don't know, IPv6. See, it's actually, you notice that this VM also has access to the internet. Okay, so it's actually a working website, and we can actually, we'll be talking more about how this VM interacts with your system, the internet, but also with the Cisco CSR 1000K VM as well when we bring that up. So we'll be actually using this browser, or I'm sorry, this VM to interact with of the Cisco CSR 1000 VM. So I'll be showing that in another video, along with how the two interact, how you install the Cisco CSR 1000 VM. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and shut down this VM. I'm just going to go here. You can see them right down here where it says quit. So I'm going to do quit. I'm just going to do a shutdown. And there we are. Okay, so this will powered off now. There we go. And we now have our VirtualBox back. So here we go. All right. So that's installing VirtualBox and the DEVASC Lab VM. And we'll be using this along with the Cisco CSR 1000 VM to do several things. All right. Enjoy. Thanks.